Hello there, and welcome back to 5678 by the Steps. Is a song so excruciatingly awful I wanted to rip my own eyeballs out and stuff them down my ears just so I didn't have to listen to it anymore.
What a nice opening.
Look, I just have a vendetta against that song because it's so bad. So painfully, disgustingly bad.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Though, sadly, we're not here to trash talk the Steps, so I could do that for hours. Though, maybe we'll be trash talking what we are here to talk about, which is Black Panther.
That's your racism coming through there, Michael.
Oh god, according to Rotten Tomatoes, this is clearly just the best film ever, because it's still on 98%.
It's still the highest apparently the highest rated film on Rotten Tomatoes ever.
Ever.
Or I could be wrong, let me check.
Well, yeah, we're about to find out, but... Oh, sorry, got something caught in my teeth. I mean, it's fine. It's just another Marvel movie, really. I mean, it does some stuff better. It's clearly learned from previous mistakes, but it doesn't excel. Certainly not the best film of all time, and the second coming of Christ, and the Messiah itself, as a lot of critics seem to be heralding it as.
Alright, let me just...
Which, I don't know about you, but really seems to be coming across as a bit of people trying to look sort of politically correct, I think, in the way they're saying it. You got any success with that?
let me just find it. You distract them.
Well, I think I'm going to call it as the overreaction to the film's release, I think, can be entirely attributed to the fact that it's got the black people in it. No, I'm joking. But I think that the sort of people trying to look not racist, I think, has meant that they've greatly exaggerated the actual quality of the film.
It's not. I don't know why. It's not even on here. I have no idea. It's still got 90 something. Get Out's the second greatest film of all time, though. So,
well, Get Out. I was talking about this a little when we live bang there. When we'd just seen the movie, which is essentially this seems to have played the same role Get Out did last year. A movie featuring like black dude as main character, directed by a black person that is immediately pounced upon by critics so they can praise and show about how not racist they are. Of course, difference is Get Out was like a pretty good film, and it was a pretty good film, a very good psychological horror. Well,
not the second greatest film of all time, although Baby Driver is apparently the 23rd best film of all time, which
it'd have to be Baby Driver. I mean, you could put any of Edgar Wright's on there.
It's more recent ones because I don't know, more scores, I guess.
They'll get more input.
Yeah.
But I mean, Get Out. That was a really good psychological horror thriller.
Close the window. It's a bit.
Yes, actually, it was a bit noisy.
Yeah.
And the whole race issue was tangential, and it's the same with Black Panther. Like, the fact that the main character and most of the side characters are black has very little effect on the plot, aside from Killmonger's sort of primary motivations, which I do think are quite interesting and certainly make him stand out as villains go. Yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't have that much bearing on the plot, I thought. I mean, well, I think if we start on that subject, sorry, I'm gonna cough. Then we should probably continue down that rabbit hole. Specifically, that I think they've got one of the better Marvel villains in a while.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's incredibly complex or deep, but I think the key to a good villain is to have them make them at least sympathetic, and that's what they did.
Yeah,
and I guess saying he's one of the better Marvel villains isn't exactly saying a lot.
I mean, what good Marvel villains are there? Problem with most of the Marvel villains is, especially the early ones, that they're basically just the main character but evil, and die at the end of the movie. I mean, difference here was, whilst you could argue the main villain was main character but evil, they were, like you said, they were sympathetic, and also you could see the logic behind their reasoning to what led them to be evil.
That's always a great thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Villain, the best part, a good villain thinks... Well, a good villain doesn't think they're a villain. You know, there's nothing more dangerous than someone who genuinely believes that they're doing the right thing. And
although Loki does know he's being evil. But he's still pretty funny.
Loki, it comes out of... Certainly in the Thor Loki, I think it more comes out of emotional... It more comes out of resentment for his adoptive father and emotional neglect.
Yeah.
So he's still got that tone of sympathy. But then you've got like Red Skull in the Captain America First Avenger, where basically he's evil because he is a Nazi and therefore of course he is evil.
Which I guess kind of reflects the time period they were going for, where everything was really black and white. And then with Civil War, they kind of blurred those lines.
A lot of grey morality.
Yeah.
That's why Civil War works so well. And also the fact that it's more of a spy thriller.
Yeah.
Which, you know, you can never go wrong with. Well, sometimes you can. Quite often.
I think Phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe thing was where they really found their footing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, I mean, the first one's just kind of... Most of them are... I mean, there's only one really good... One I call good or above in the first one. Apart from Avengers. Which I think is pretty good. Is Iron Man.
Yeah.
Which I still think is one of the... Easily in, like, the top 3, 4 Marvel films. Well, MCU
Iron Man
films,
is still one of the best MCU films, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, one of the best superhero films, really.
Should we go through them all, just quickly? Because
you realise every time we do that, we end up wasting half an hour of the review talking about the other movies.
Because why not?
No, we're not going to do
it.
There's too many. It's not like Star Wars where there's only like 6, 7
Alright,
movies
just say the
to
3
go
best
through.
ones, I guess.
Favourite
for context.
Favourites. Obviously Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I think it's my favourite out of all of them.
I haven't seen Volume 2, so I've heard that's just as good, if not better.
It is good, but I think it kind of... It's not as good, but it's still good, though.
Yeah. Obviously Iron Man, and... let me think. They all kind of merged together.
Thor Ragnarok was a really good
I've heard Ragnarok.
I
haven't watched Ragnarok, but I heard loads of good stuff.
It's good. It's really, really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not great, but it's still really, really, really good.
Yeah, I know the sort of thing you're describing. I haven't watched many of the recent ones, to be honest.
They had a really good year last year. They're all really
good
solid 7 out of 10s, I'd say, all of them.
Well, what did they have? There was Ragnarok,
Spider-Man Homecoming and
Homecoming. That would be my other favourite. That was one I was trying to think of. Spider-Man
and
Homecoming.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
All
really unique films in their own right as well.
Unique films. I think also something that they've nailed now is the colour.
Oh god!
In that there was there's a few, you can find quite a few YouTube videos that talk about how Marvel's poor use of colour and shading and how it essentially makes their films look washed out and grey. And I think that's something they've definitely picked up on, because I know Black Panther was very colourful, which I really liked. You know, it wasn't drab, monotone sort of shades at all, which was kind of the problem with the earlier ones. Iron Man suffered from that a fair bit, I think.
Yeah. Oh, the Incredible Hulk really suffered from that.
And Thor a little apart.
I still think both the Thor films are the weakest. Well,
you mean
the first two?
Thor the First Thor and Thor the Dark Thor. Clearly, Thor Ragnar Thor is better.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Thorgnarok. No, that sounds like pork. Porgnarok is the end of the world, but it's eaten by a pork.
It's a giant pork.
You know, you can buy one of those huge pork that's like the size of a person. YouTuber I watch has one, actually. It's pretty funny.
Just stick it on their wall.
No, she has it on a bed that sits behind her when she's filming stuff. So there's just this huge pork looming over her. It's hilarious. No, I think the colour that's why Guardians of the Galaxy, I think one of the reasons that works, it's got a very vivid colour palette, and it's the same here.
Thor Ragnarok had that a lot.
Yes, I could. You could tell just from the trailers that it had a really.
Although Spider-Man Homecoming kind of.
Spider-Man Homecoming. I think they had some pretty bright colours. I mean, compare, if you will, the. Give me a second. What is it? Sorry if you hear keystrokes. I'm just looking at something not. Amazing Spider. Compare, if you will, the Amazing Spider-Man suit to
it is a lot brighter.
Spider-Man Homecoming suit. I mean, you can do it yourself. I'm just doing it for demonstration. That's the difference we're talking about.
That first poster for Spider-Man Homecoming is pretty crap. Look at it.
Yeah, it's not really. I prefer that one because that one just kind of suffers from what I call Star Wars poster syndrome, where you basically just put all the heads of your main characters in like on a black background, and have some stuff happening around them in miniature, and then the title.
Although it can be good though.
Yeah,
they can look really.
I mean,
good.
Star Wars pulls it off quite well. The Last Jedi's posters, especially, I think did that very well. But those are quite well designed posters and publicity stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But in fact, I think Black Panther has a poster like that where it's like the main characters.
Oh yeah, they do.
But they do it quite well in that. But the point is, Homecoming isn't just a great superhero film because it's actually Homecoming also solves the Marvel villain problem really well.
Yeah.
In fact, I think a lot of the more recent films
they're learning from that.
Yeah, they're learning,
especially Guardians 2.
That have a case of good villains?
Yeah.
I need to watch it.
I mean,
Homecoming, the villain...
It had like 3, but it handled them all really well.
Hard to handle multiple villains, especially to do it well, so... We saw what happened when like Spider-Man 3 did it.
Although mainly one of them is because Rocket just pissed one of them off. Like, kind of insulted them, so they're coming across the universe because they got really annoyed.
I like that.
And that's all they had to do to get one villain in there.
Fits into the sort of general sense of humour, I think. But in Homecoming, the Vulture is just an ordinary workaday guy who is sick of essentially the privileges and exceptions that the superheroes get, and so he's just trying to do his job. Like he treats creating like extremely advanced, incredibly dangerous personal weapons as just a day job. It's what he does. He's trying to make money to provide for his family, and he's sick of being maligned by the rich and powerful and those who get special exception. So he's really quite sympathetic.
Yeah.
If anything, I think
Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, kind of a weak villain, but
I've well played, but weak in terms of motivation.
I kind of get the motivation. It just doesn't really work that well.
The best, I think, as someone, we're reading an article about this.
Just don't take Thor Ragnarok seriously half the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not supposed to be. It's not dark and dramatic, is it?
No.
I'm very sorry about that coughing. But no, before we had the Thor, wink, we were saying... we're reading this article that was saying that we have Marvel has been improving on its villains, and the best way they've done that is because the good villains are the ones where if they'd made some slightly different decisions, they would have been heroes. Which I think is the case with the Vulture, because really, he had all the resources available to him to become a superhero, but instead he prioritised his savvy business sense over sort of philanthropism and sort of moral self-sacrifice, and decides to make money instead. While you could argue it's reprehensible, you can completely understand why he does what he does.
I think that's the problem with Age of Ultron. They kind of don't have...
Ultron is just evil because he is.
Yeah, they kind of try and add a motivation at some point. I can't even remember what it was.
What it is that Ultron, I think, and this may be completely wrong, it's been 2 years odd.
I saw it when it came out, so...
Yeah, same, I've watched it since, so it's been
almost 3 years.
3 years since we watched this. If I recall correctly, Ultron essentially connects to the internet, sees pretty much most of the internet at once, because obviously he's a super intelligent
so
AI.
He just gets filled with memes
finds
and
ridiculous
porn.
amounts of memes and porn and shit and viruses, and then basically does the thing where, and I think it's like the most cliche motivation for AI. Basically, he sees that humans have been dicks and like caused a bunch of wars and caused global warming, and his obvious immediate solution
that
is
does sound right.
Wipe out humanity.
Yeah, I mean, that's what
logical A to B step. Protect. Well, it's the point that, like, I think Tony Stark programmed him to protect the world, but wasn't too specific about what protect the world means. So Ultron takes it to mean protect the world from the human race. How do you solve that? Wipe out the human race. Of course, his actual plan to do so would also damage most of the world's ecosystems, so, would have been better off, like, releasing a nanobot virus or something. Just not, like, smashing an asteroid into Earth.
Just fill Diet Coke with poison. More than there is already.
To be fair, I think an AI, if a super intelligent AI was actually going to wipe out humanity, they would be incredibly subtle about it. Like, they would they would infiltrate and take over major corporations and that kind of thing, and slowly but surely creep their way into people's everyday lives before they are in the perfect position to wipe out all life, human life.
Like Power
But
3.
Ultron isn't, like that. The alien. This is why I do really enjoy that, because the idea that the alien presence sneaks its way essentially into the modern world by doing nothing and becoming quickly, something that's just treated as mundane and boring as people move on with their lives, and you can get to work on the, completely wiping out the human race. Of course, that episode also fails for many other reasons, but that idea works. But
Should we talk about Black Panther now?
Yeah, just to round off, clearly Ultron. Therefore, he's not a good villain because he's pretty fucking dumb for an AI, especially a super intelligent one. I would say, however, Killmonger is one of the best Marvel villains. Not the best. That would be the Vulture in Homecoming, I reckon. Which is also my favourite Marvel film.
Or Loki, because no one really takes him seriously.
Loki, because he's played by Tom Hiddleston, the most amazingly charming man on earth.
Oh yeah, I just remember there's a constant joke because he sees the Hulk for the first time since he was thrown into the floor multiple times in the Avengers. So he gets like these traumatic Vietnam flashbacks.
that was really funny. I need to watch Ragnarthor. Whatever we're calling it. I think we should call it Ragnarthrock.
Ragnarthrock.
Yes.
Ragnarthong.
But no, I think Killmonger. Plus, Killmonger does have some pretty legitimate grievances. I think. Like, his motivation essentially, I'm sick of racism and poor people in Africa and shit. Let's solve this with weapons of mass destruction, boys.
Although, one thing that annoyed me is, how he's cut himself? Places with how many people he's killed. How many people he's killed perfectly matches into this incredibly intricate diagram.
Oh yeah, that got my tits
this
too.
Really pattern thing, and he's got these lines in the middle. What are they meant to be? Really long people? I reckon the other one's the exact same size.
I reckon he was sitting there and he was planning out this whole scarification thing, and he planned out what it was going to look like on beforehand on a doodle.
What happens when he runs out of space? Is he going to cut his dick? Who would do that?
I was it stops at the cheekbones. What if he burns, every part of his body? Is he going to have to go up onto his face? He's going to look way, he's not going to look that good with little burn marks all over his face.
Are they burn marks? I thought he just kind of scratched them.
I assumed burns. I might be.
It'd be too accurate for burns.
I think you mentioned. Well, no,
he said scars. I think
scars. Yeah. Well, because Claw got burned. Branded, I think, for trying to get into Wakanda, and obviously didn't go well for him. He's one of my favourite parts of this movie, actually, just because it's basically, you can tell that Andy Serkis was just having loads of fun playing him the whole time.
Yeah, they kind of got rid of him halfway through.
Well, yeah, they do get rid of him halfway through. He gets killed by the actual villain.
But I kind of wanted him there more because he is my spirit animal, as I said during it.
I mean, his thick South African accent got me. Just because it's the way the thick South African accent being played for laughs, his generally almost psychopathically sort of upbeat attitude to the situation. He walks in grinning to an arms deal. Also, I was you got a lot of guys here. What are you gonna drop your new mixtape? Well, I mean, you kind of. oh, I can't do that. So like, well, you can listen to it if you want to. No, I didn't actually want to listen to your music. Please don't do that.
We need to find that mixtape.
Ulysses Claw mixtape. Claw and Squad.
I can imagine somebody, Marvel creates some sort of thing.
Yeah, they would do that as one of their like weird tie-ins. I know that. Yeah, I tell you what though, I don't know about you. I don't know about people watching, particularly Americans, but as a British person, Martin Freeman with an American accent is extremely disconcerting.
It's really weird.
Like, it's a good accent. Like, you'd buy him as an American person, but because he's a British actor, I'm so used to seeing him in loads of British TV shows and a few movies with a British accent, which is obviously his normal speaking voice. The American accent I found really just, disconcerting. I got used to it by the end, but certainly the start it was very strange.
Oh yeah. Although I just enjoy seeing Martin Freeman in everything.
Oh yeah, Who
doesn't?
It's a nice surprise to see Martin Freeman. Same with Benedict Cumberbatch and his American accent.
He was in Civil War for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
under 5 minutes.
That's where his character was introduced, wasn't he? He's more of a main
Someone made a
character
big.
in this.
I remember people making a big deal out of it back then.
Well,
or something.
They can make a big
and he was
deal
only
out
in
of
it for less than 5 minutes.
Well, he's like an actual one of the main sort of supporting cast in this. So
yeah, I'd say he is basically one of the main characters.
Yeah. I'd say supporting cast because he's not the main protagonist. He's one of the protagonists.
You
know what I mean? Because we've got 5 really. Yeah, 5. Or 3 of which are female, incidentally, which I haven't noticed many things picking up on. Because generally these things, a lot of movie review sites will chase the political correctness points by praising diversity, and obviously they have been. Cause I think Martin Freeman is actually like the one white dude in the whole movie,
apart from Andy Serkis.
But he ended up dead partway through. So. Do you want to know? I'm kind of sad though. His character is called Ulysses Claw, and he doesn't have a claw hand. He does
in the comics, obviously.
Yeah, obviously he does in the comics.
It's spelled like K-L-A-U-E.
I thought it was C-L-A-U-E. It's some. We'll look this up. It's some weird spelling.
Ulysses Claw.
Yeah, but first, who calls their kid Ulysses? Let's be honest. I mean, unless you're a really big James Byron fan, which you may be, but even then, not Ulysses. I haven't read that book. It's supposed to be very good.
Very thick.
Yes. K-L-A-U-E.
Look at him in the comics.
Oh my god. Okay. Look up, Pete, if you listen to this, look up Ulysses Claw, because film version is infinitely better. He's just... Wow. Look.
Black Panther fans want Marvel to release Claw's mixtape. Yes!
Yes. Oh, he's played by Mark Hamill in an animated feature. Yay, Mark Hamill. First appearance as Ulysses Claw, spelled K-L-A-W, in an issue of the Fantastic Four from the 60s. So, yeah, I think...
I'm happy they changed the surname, because it's a lot
the change
subtle.
in the surname, and also I think the fact
more
that...
subtle.
Yeah, he doesn't actually have a claw in the comics. I gotta admit, the change from, like, dude in red spandex with a sonic cannon for an arm, and not like a cool looking sonic cannon, this one, it looks stupid, is, like, I think the change from that to, like, psychopathic arms dealer who also happens to have a sonic cannon for an arm is infinitely better done. Kind of the fact that he has, like, this whole character, he has, like, this whole arm-based character arc as Ultron rips it off in Age of Ultron.
Oh, yeah.
It's where he first appears, and I think he shows up in Civil War.
I don't think he does.
Does he?
I don't remember that.
We'll check. But I mean, I think having him in...
No, I do remember that, he doesn't.
Having an... I just think... I'm a big fan of arms dealer, sort of... That kind of, sort of... It's like moral greyness.
Wants to get into the business.
Yeah, let me check. Appearances... I gotta... we're on the MC...
Do they have a specific date of death? Look. Go down.
Yes. I guess we can assume that Black Panther was set in 2016.
Yeah, it was the day they filmed it.
Yeah, he's only in Age of Ultron and Black Panther.
Intelligentsia.
How Marvel's changed movie. Black Panther wasn't filmed in Africa, but does it matter? Probably not. I didn't notice because I haven't been to Africa. Is this set before? Is this movie set before?
Set after Civil War, but
is it set before? No, I was going to ask. Sorry, it's after Civil War, right?
Yeah.
Tell you what was weird though. The possibly slightly blatant let's appeal to international markets trick with like the just random fact that a chunk part
was in South Korea.
Which I mean, cool. I like South Korea. It's a pretty cool looking place. You know,
at least it's not North Korea. Trying to appeal to that North Korean market
that doesn't exist because the film's banned there.
Everything's banned there.
Yeah, it's Western, so obviously it's banned. But I mean, South Korea. I was kind of interested they put it in South Korea and didn't just automatically set it in Seoul. Because there are other cities in South Korea. It's like there are other cities in the UK that aren't London.
No, they're not.
Not that you'd never know that. You see, what foreign people don't realise is that the entirety of the United Kingdom is actually just London and Stonehenge. And there's like Glasgow in Scotland.
If you squint.
If you squint loads of glass people and deal heroin. Well, Trainspotting's told me anything. That's set in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Though the Volcano nightclub for that film was actually in Glasgow, not Edinburgh. And it closed in the early 2000s.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. But, Black Panther. So yeah, I quite like Claw. Karen said he's dead now. Why? I mean, it's just because you don't get much of a chance to see Andy Serkis.
Forget, never forget.
But you don't get a chance to see Andy Serkis in non-motion capture roles.
Yeah, I wish he was in more of those.
Yeah, because he is a great actor anyway, let alone his motion capture stuff, though it's clearly his forte. So seeing him just normally on screen was a treat. Like I say though, I think he's the primary villain at first, and then he's kind of usurped by Killmonger. And I gotta admit, when I was watching the trailers, I assumed they were just going to go for the sort of like pissed off younger brother kind of thing, which is kind of what they did with Thor. So having him be related to the main character, but in a different way, but a way that still gives him sort
cousins.
Yeah, genuine Well, he's got a genuine grievance with Black Panther, and also a legitimate. He does have a legitimate claim to the throne, which obviously comes into play when he ends up in charge.
So, should we move on from the villains?
Yes.
I'm just going to say it now, but the action direction's pretty shit, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It's not great. But to be fair, I think it's mainly because it's more of a big budget thing, and Ryan Coogler's done stuff like Creed, which does have fight scenes, but they're more contained and singular, rather than more larger scale ones.
Creed is, boxing, isn't it? So
I feel like loads of these. Oh, let's get an independent director who made this small film which everyone liked, and give them this massive $200 million budget. Wow, something like that. Fruitvale Station was also pretty great as well.
Yeah, those. He's only done these 3 movies.
Yeah. So they take these directors and then they're given this big task, and the action isn't that great because
I think it's because, honestly, he's only 31, and the director actually was born in Oakland, California, so that explains something. But yeah, I think his I can see why they do that, but the fact is, directing like a small independent movie for a couple million is nothing like suddenly being handed here's $200 million and the rights for the new Marvel franchise. Off you go, good luck, sport. I mean, to be fair, he didn't do a bad job, and I can see how he saw the mistakes made in previous Marvel movies and set out to rectify them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So
I give him credit for that, but I mean, yeah, the action's a bit shit. Some of it's all right. The sequence at the start, the sort of nighttime sequence at the start, very Batman-esque, really. That. almost a bit too much to the point where it stopped. Well, obviously it was in a jungle and not like a city street, but it felt a little to the point where they were kind of rehashing some of the stuff in The Dark Knight. We just found an article addressing why.
Oh, okay.
Why Bucky Barnes wasn't in it.
I don't think we need to know because what even happened to him after Civil War? I can't remember.
He at the end of Civil War, he's going back on ice until someone can get rid of the triggers in his head. Because he's been like brainwashed and programmed as an assassin. Basically, the director reckoned he wouldn't really fit the tone of the movie, and they'd have to add in a bunch of extra stuff that would just be, a bit sort of make it too clunky. Which I can agree, because this movie, the fact that the movie keeps the links to the rest of the MCU pretty sparse to the point where they're almost non-existent.
Yeah, I like that. I like the self-contained. I like the self-contained stuff more than the the connecting stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
it's really satisfying with the connecting stuff.
Avengers,
like Infinity War, which will probably
Infinity War
we'll do that one.
Big fucking deal.
That'll be our April thing, won't we?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, is there anything coming out in March?
Ready Player One, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, could be good. I don't
know. The likes on the poster.
Might read the book first. No,
apparently the book's shit, but
I got some critical praise, and I mean, Steven Spielberg wants to make it into a movie, so how bad can it be? Yeah,
everyone's silent.
Everyone awkward silence. But
wait, you did the post like months ago. So it was released in.
Wait a minute.
It was released in January here, but December in the US.
Oscar bait.
And only 3 months later he's releasing another one.
I'm just going to say, no, this is directed by Spielberg. Did Spielberg direct the post? Did he?
Yes.
Let me just check. No, holy shit, he directed. Jesus. That's quite the budget, 134.2 million.
Box office.
Oh. Well, you made 130.
Probably cost like 40 million
I guess
or something.
20 to 40.
Yeah.
Because it's mainly character drama, and the main money is just going to be spent on period accuracy.
Yeah, basically.
And making Meryl Streep look good for her next Oscar. I would agree with this article that came up that says they've been marketing Ready Player One all wrong.
Oh, and he says Spielberg said Ready Player One was the most difficult and sleep-depriving film ever he's ever done, I'm guessing.
That is the Daily Express, though, so,
But I can understand.
Hey, John Williams soundtrack.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, boy. Alright, that got me way more interested.
But anyway, back to Black Panther.
I'll call this just randomly. Well, actually, the Avengers is in the People Also Search For section. Hey, Ben Mendelsohn's in it.
And Simon Pegg.
And TJ Miller, he was in the Emoji Movie. Fuck you, TJ Miller.
He was the...
You thought he tried to actually claim the Emoji Movie was good. Fuck you. But I mean,
Don't do that.
He deserves it. If you're watching Mr. Miller, we take it all back. Please put us in your next movie. No, but alright,
put us in the Emoji Movie too.
Yes. I'm actually a bit more interested in this.
Yeah.
Because I like Ben Mendelsohn and I like Simon Pegg. I think the thing is, though, I think they agree with the marketing thing wrong, because they're making it all about the sort of like, whoa, crazy virtual world and, all these franchises you like. But from what I have read, like, synopses and analysis, and the actual book is not about that. The book is about, like, the problems of escaping reality through fantasy. Like embodying the virtual reality. People would rather sort of hide themselves in this fantasy world than confront the grim nature of their reality. And then that's it's proper sort of hardcore sci-fi in that sense. But clearly that just ain't gonna happen with this. Yeah, March 30th. Still, enough about Ready Player One.
Black Panther.
Thinking about the virtual reality stuff, that did get me thinking. I do like this movie's production design.
Oh yeah, the African elements infused with
if I
more
recall,
futuristic
I
technology.
believe the phrase is
Afrofuturism.
No, not Afrofade.
They had that haircut throughout the film.
That did show up a lot. Afrofuturism, which is a cultural aesthetic philosophy of science and philosophy of history, explores the developing intersection of African and African American culture with technology.
Aesthetic in all caps, spaced out.
Yeah, vaporwave. How can we go to written language? Oh yeah, I did actually notice that there was the written text everywhere that I assumed was Wakandan. So the fact they did a language for that, I think they did actually create a Wakandan language as well.
Yeah.
Unless that dialogue was just random crap that they just going to pronounce. I hope it's not. I hope they did go to that effort. But one is based. One based on an ancient Nigerian language, which I don't know how to pronounce that.
Nizibidi.
There's also a more complex written language. Oh wow. Well, this is quite interesting. We can read about that. Yeah, the Afrofuturistic aesthetic is really good. Like, it looks great. I hope this movie gets a name drop.
Oh, it will.
We'll find it. We'll check this later.
Blacks. Of course.
Yeah, it does get
Black pants.
Black pant. Yeah, so yeah, Afrofuturism is a very interesting design style. I think it's really well realised here. The CGI is a bit questionable, especially with a couple of shots that made me really.
Some of when T'Challa and Killmonger are fighting near the end.
Yeah, there are a couple of parts of that where. That's also, I think, where the film comes the most perilously close to the villain is hero but evil kind of trap.
Yeah.
I really wish they'd created an original. I mean, like that's the costume he wears towards the start of the movie, the sort of mercenary combat outfit. I think was a pretty nice, unique costume. So the fact they ditched that for just the Black Panther suit but gold this time, I didn't really like. I wish they could have. I think they could have done an original design and it would look better, but. You know, I think there's also one shot in the casino scene where T'Challa jumps up to grab onto a balcony, which I was noticeably CGI in a sort of a ooh, yeah, you know, one of those things where you see it and it just pulls you out of the movie because you immediately pick up on it.
Especially the what are those joke that happens.
Oh yeah, to be fair, the problem with that is you could if you'd sort of done that line in the right way, you could have just made it like a subtle reference. But no, that wasn't enough for them. They had to go full hog on a meme that was dead when this movie was being fucking written, let alone when it came out.
Or was filmed.
Or
just people agreed that it should have been.
I mean, it wasn't even funny in the first place. Especially when you had loads of unfunny dipshits doing it because they thought it would make them funny. It obviously wouldn't. And that just made it worse.
Did you find anything funny in the film apart from like one or two things?
There are a couple
because I feel like they try and put humour in kind of random places sometimes.
Yeah, I think Iron Man handles it quite well in that Tony Stark, in that obviously being played by Robert Downey Jr., is just generally a character who makes a lot of quips basically, which is quite in contrast with his comic book depiction up until that point. Yeah. When you actually look at it as a movie, especially as in a comic book adaptation, Iron Man is very different from the comics in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
In a way that some of the MCU's kind of continued, but they've gone a bit more faithful. But even when they do like actual comic storylines like Civil War, it's certainly a very different take on it.
Yeah.
I mean, the comic Civil War is completely different to the film one. Some would argue they're different in quality too. The main difference with the comics one is that one, the Fantastic Four are a big player. Two, Thor being dead is a big part. Because
is that Civil War?
Yes.
I remember it's like a weird robot Thor at one point or something.
Reed Richards creates a robot Thor for Tony Stark so it can look like Thor supporting his side. Yeah, well, it's supposed to be like a duplicate of him, but then it breaks, then it malfunctions in the middle of battle and actually straight up kills a dude, and everyone feels and then Reed Richards feels really guilty about it. And then he has like this whole mini character arc. And then there's the whole deal with Peter Parker revealing himself as Spider-Man. Yeah. And also the Iron Spider's a big part of it. Which I do hope we see on film because that is a very good design.
He's in Infinity War.
It is in Infinity War. Good. I was hoping it will be. It was either that or Homecoming too. And he also gets an appearance at the end of Homecoming. Yeah. Where he offers him the new suit and he just goes, nah. Oh, yeah. Which I like that. It's a nice character detail. But damn it, I lost my train of thought. I was thinking about the Iron. Yeah, and Civil War. There's also the general sort of thing that in that it's not like Civil War as in two like groups of half a dozen people having a. It's not It's not like a dozen superheroes having a punch up in a car park. No. It is literally a full-on war. Because you've got, the Marvel Comics universe is fucking huge, and you've got some characters with some crazy-ass powers in there. And having those guys battling out on what was really a ridiculous planetary kind of scale at some points. Like, you'd have, like, big 2-page spreads of just characters fighting. Just like, So it was really worthy of the title War. Actually, is Black Panther an adaptation of a comic storyline or not?
I don't think so.
I don't think it is. Most of the MCU's origin movies aren't adaptations of a specific storyline.
No.
Which I like.
They just gotta take elements from stuff.
Yeah. They cherry pick elements and combine them together in a way that works well. Let me look it up. Is
Panther racist?
You type in it's Black Panther, it comes up with racist. Based
on
a true story.
Based on Batman, I saw.
To be fair, there is definitely some similarity. Marvel's Black Panther is apparently a boost for Nigerian comics.
Is that? I thought it was Danny DeVito for a second. Oh, why?
It's from what I can tell, it's nothing to do with.
Although I can say something. Black Panther is the best blockbuster, so to speak, since Who Killed Captain Alex.
Blackbuster. That sounds like a dude who beats up black people.
Oh god.
Killmonger is a comics character. In fact, he's quite an old comic character, first introduced 1973. Obviously. Oh, was that Michael B. Jordan? I didn't realise. Who was the dude? Oh, here it is. What's his name?
From Get Out.
Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya, that's the guy. I think I'm pronouncing his surname right.
Yes.
Kaluuya. I swear, I spent the entire movie thinking, hey look, it's the guy from Get Out. And I was referring to his character in my head as guy from Get Out. And I was trying to remember his name. I thought it was Michael something, but no, Daniel Kaluuya. He's really good. I liked him in the film, and I like him as a
guy.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy. He's a good actor. Yeah. What's he been in?
Just seems like a nice guy, actually.
He's not just a good actor. He's also a pretty good guy.
He's also in Skins, so.
Get Out, Black Panther, Get Out, Black Mirror since 2011 as well. He was in Sicario.
He was also in Doctor Who at one point.
Oh.
Planet of the Dead, one of the guys on the bus.
Wait.
He was one of them.
Wait, which is this?
Planet of the Dead.
Oh.
He was one of the guys on the bus.
Oh, cool. There's also an article here of the guys Get Out.
Oh yeah, have I showed you the original ending?
The original ending. By the way, we are going to spoil Get Out here.
No,
so.
don't. Because people need to watch it.
Yeah, do watch it. So just pause this, go and watch it, then come back. Alright, or I might...
just to say at another point.
Well, I mean, is it like... Because I know what the... I'm pretty sure I know what the original ending is.
Just whisper it in my ear or something.
Well...
just talk about Black Panther.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about Black Panther. Specifically, well, what haven't we mentioned? We've talked about the Afrofuturistic aesthetic, action scenes, most of the characters we've addressed.
The villains for about half an hour.
Yeah, because the villains are the most interesting part of it, I'd say. I tell you what I think was a missed opportunity. I was expecting them to establish that Killmonger was responsible for his father's death. He's obviously just become king, and he's still pretty clearly suffering from some trauma from that, whole thing happening. So I was going to assume that the reason it had been set up so much was it turns out it was Killmonger who assassinated him, and he brings it up as sort of the climax stuff.
I don't even remember who actually set off the bomb.
I don't know. We'll
assassinated him.
Take a look at it. Was
Probably look it up on the Marvel Cinematic Universe wiki.
Yes. I'll help us, Marvel Cinematic. Also, the Marvel Cinematic Universe wiki's background is the Black Panther poster. Quite appropriately, really.
Yeah. Go. It should say it up there.
I think he was killed in... Yeah, he was killed with the...
Zemo, that was it. Helmut Zemo. What did he look like in the new one? I forgot.
I think it's...
Just normal boy. Oh, right, yeah, Daniel... Oh, yeah, Daniel Brühl.
I haven't... Yeah... Yeah, he killed...
Because someone killed his family in...
some shit happened, and now he's annoyed. Yeah, he blew up the Sokovia Accords. I don't know. I haven't watched Civil War. I've missed a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, John. So I
think I've just caught. I haven't really sat down and caught up, but I have watched.
You
them
just
all.
Progressively caught up with them over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Yeah, this just happens with these. I need to watch Ragnarok or
Ragnarok.
Or
you need to watch Guardians 2,
Rock
Civil War, and Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Those
are the main... As long as I want to make sure I'm pretty much caught up with the general sort of state of the wider universe stuff in time for Infinity War.
Yeah.
It should be pretty interesting.
So, have we got anything else to say about Black Panther? Because I thought it kind of dragged a bit in places.
Oh yeah, definitely dragged a bit in definitely dragged in parts. There are quite a few parts where I feel like there was just unnecessary dialogue and exposition scenes that they really didn't need and could have cut down. Certainly, the thing is, the action scenes come at a pretty considerable, in quick succession in the first part of the film, but then in the second there's only two really, and one's the climax.
Yeah.
One's a sort of end of Act 2 downer kind of scenario.
Yeah.
And those action scenes will generally consist of the hero getting the ever living shit kicked out of them for a couple minutes, before sometimes looking like they've been killed, sometimes it's not. I kind of like they didn't also spend too long, making a big deal of, will he come back?
Yeah, because it was kind of obvious he would.
It was pretty obvious that he wasn't dead. And obviously, it's the characters assume he is dead, because obviously from their perspective he would be. But he doesn't patronise the audience by making you go, ooh, could he be alive? It's just, and when he is alive, they're surprised, and it's not treated as, there's no dramatic musical sting or anything when it's revealed he's alive. It's more just essentially getting it across to the characters and the audience.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad they didn't fall into the sort of trap of bad writing that they could have there. Credit to them for that, really. Well, we're at about 50-minute mark. Is there much else we can really say?
Hmm.
Just Just thinking.
No, I think that's it. It's
all right. Scores time then, isn't it?
All right. I'd probably give this a 6, honestly.
Most of the reviewers I follow have been saying 5 because they just thought it was a completely average Marvel movie.
Fucking, what was it? Movie Bob gave it like a full rating. He does like 4 stars. I don't know why anyone does 4 stars.
Because he's mad.
I don't know. He gave it 4 out of 4 stars and said it's a masterpiece, which, to be fair, he's heavily influenced by politics, and he doesn't doubt that. He gets
fair enough.
He kind of.
I
think he studied it in college or something, as well as I think he studied like film politics or something.
Oh,
which I understand why he
does
kind of enforce it a lot. He does mention Trump a lot, which kind of
Well, it depends how he mentions Trump. Like occasionally name dropping him as part of a joke, I can get, but when you sort of
he's more kind of serious
ranty kind of thing.
Not ranty, just kind of offhand mentioning quite a lot.
Yeah,
which I can ignore, but
it kind of annoys me when creators I like get a bit uncomfortably political.
Yeah,
I just don't really.
I mean, he can't help it. It's kind of been built into him, so I don't blame him.
It's part of his persona, I think.
Yeah,
but normally it's a pretty much entirely average Marvel movie, but I think more interesting than usual villain and entertaining Andy Serkis will elevate it to a 6 for me.
I'd say it's around the upper middle of, if I was going to rank them or something, probably like middle, upper middle.
Yeah, it's not like Thor: The Dark World or better than that.
Not like the first 2 Thors, of
Thor,
which
the first Thor,
not very good.
Thor: The Dark Thor, but then suddenly we've got Thor.
Wow, it's such a riveting explanation.
My top quality use of language.
But yeah, next month's film, Ready Player One. That should be fun.
Yes, it would be. Actually, that's coming out on the 30th, so it wouldn't be.
Oh, is it the 30th?
Yeah. Pacific Rim Uprising is the 23rd, though.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
I feel like we should go for that.
I feel like we should go for that because that looks honestly more entertaining.
I've been bombarded with trailers since like October.
Yeah, every time you go to the cinema, it's the same trailers. I was kind of hoping we'd get to see the Solo trailer on a larger screen, but no, just the same trailers. Still, at least we're aware it exists.
And I still haven't seen the first one in full, so...
I need to watch the first one. It looks very good. I mean, it's basically giant robots and giant kaiju beating the shit out of each other.
We could review them both in a double bill.
We could.
Yeah. So anyway, that was...
You can look forward to that then, in terms of movie reviews. So Black Panther's it's fine, but it does some things that elevate it, I think, above the general pantheon of Marvel films.
It's basically, if you like Marvel films, you'll like this.
Yeah, if you like Marvel, you'll like it. If you don't like Marvel, you could get some enjoyment out of it, but
you know what to expect. You know if you'll like it.
Yeah, it'd be a take it or leave it kind of scenario. So I can't really think of a way to end it now because we've sort of summarised our thoughts and
our white guilt has overtaken us.
Yes. We're bleeding heart white guilt liberals now.